Hello and welcome to a beautiful night here at JJ Isaacson Field. Should say it's the afternoon. We welcome you into this matchup between the Omaha Cropdusters and the Omaha Rail Riders. Cropdusters sitting at 7-20 in their last regular season game here. Rail Riders at 14-11. We welcome you into the booth here. My name is Arnav Pokhrel. Joining me today, Jaden Taylor. And Jaden, what an amazing regular season it's been for the Corn Belt League. What are your thoughts here as we head into this final game?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a beautiful day here in Omaha, Nebraska. It's going to be a beautiful season that we've had a lot of different teams fighting back and forth. And even here in our final day, we still have some placements going into the postseason up in the air. I know we'll get more into that throughout this game, but it does mean here for both these teams a little bit more. For the Rail Riders, will they be home for their first game of the playoffs? And then the Cropdusters, will they be going up against either the Black Sox or the Filth Ballers this upcoming Thursday? So still, even with 2 games left in the regular season, a lot on the line. It's been a fun season from so many teams, and it's good to be able to still have some meaningful baseball at the end of the year.
Yeah, you'll mention a little bit of a late start here as we take a look at the scores from today. There was a game that was a continuation from June 7th earlier that just finished for the Rail Riders. They shut out the Black Sox 3-0. That game started 1-0. Black Sox lost that one by 2 runs. 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 6th by the Rail Riders. So now you've got this game between the Cropdusters and the Rail Riders, and then following this one is the Red Raiders and Haymakers. Another rainout reschedule, so making up for some games here on this last day.
Yeah, a lot of different changes we've seen. Originally, the last day of the regular season was going to be Sunday, but now we're here today, a little bit different changes. We saw so many Tuesdays being rained out, and we get some more baseball at the end of the season.
We'll talk a little bit more about the scenarios for the upcoming playoffs in the Corn Belt League when we get a little bit more time here, but we'll take you down here for first pitch between the Rail Riders and the Cropdusters. Leading off for the Cropdusters is Cade Owens. Owens, the outfielder from Southeast Community College.
Yeah, Owens the guy at the top of the lineup that has really filled that role. We talk about it a lot. Different guys. We see it for the Filth Ballers. Trevor Winterstein's been the big guy for them. Owens has, again, kind of been one of the quiet leaders for this Cropdusters team this season at the top of the order. His hit for average has not been a big power guy, but does have his speed as well, being the number 2 guy in stolen base this season for the Cropdusters.
On the opposite side, on the mound, we got Peyton Stockwell, 6 innings pitched on the year, 5 appearances, giving up 5 earned runs, so that's an ERA of 5.833. Mainly a reliever guy, so just his second start of the season for Stockwell. We'll see how he does here as the Rail Riders look to shore up home field advantage against the Omaha Bombers.
Yeah, again, they need to win this one here today up against the Cropdusters to solidify themselves as the 4 seed over the Bombers. We saw the Bombers be able to control their own destiny yesterday with 2 wins, but the Rail Riders, a couple different games, not quite matching up total games this season, but they win here. A good start would be for them. This
one hit deep into left field and just falling in foul territory. Unable to reach it there was the left fielder Derek Enertson.
Yeah, again, we mentioned not too much power from Owens this season, but right there, got a hold of that one, just barely fouled in the left field line. And you talk about the pitching here today, it's going to be kind of what we saw yesterday, really just pitching by committee, making sure that use guys that may be available in the postseason, see who can maybe give you some valuable innings later on here this next week. But it's really not going to be the main number 1 and number 2 guys for the Rail Riders, really for the Red Raiders or for the Haymakers as well here in our later game.
Another pitch low and away there for Stockwell, so it'll be a full count coming up for Owens. This one hit high in left field. Tracking back, and will it go? Yes, it will. That one goes over. Leadoff home run for Cade Owens. Means a 1-0 ball game for the Omaha Cropdusters, and he got all of that one, Jaden.
Yeah, I think Owens showed me up a little bit. Mentioned a guy that doesn't have a ton of power this season, but man, he waited on that fastball. Again, Stockwell not throwing too hard, really low to mid-70s, and Owens did a really good job of allowing that ball to travel, getting right into the barrel, and a beautiful swing that was definitely out of here off the bat.
Yeah, just the first home run for the season for Cade Owens. Just the 4th home run for the Cropdusters. And that'll bring up number 6, Jack Tilton. He's been one of our players to watch this season for the Cropdusters. Just a really flashy player in the outfield, and he does his work here at the plate.
Again, it's been Tilton and Owens at the top of the lineup majority this season. It seemed more Tilton at the number 1 spot than Owens, but maybe Coach Jared Jones is thinking maybe switching up a little bit, and good start right there from Cade Owens. Again, we mentioned this guy that I haven't quite seen as much power-wise, just has 2 extra base hits this season, but again, at the top of the order, Owens has just been very consistent, and Tilton's been another guy that's been right here. 2 guys with an average over 300.
Yeah, Tilton hitting .338 on the year. And it looks like that pitch hit him, so Tilton will take first. And Tilton, another one of those players that we talk a lot about Danny Spongberg being one of the fastest players in the Corn Belt League. Tilton's right up there with it, and he's got a decent chunk of stolen bases on the year. It's dangerous on the base paths for the Cropdusters.
Again, it's really hard to compare really anybody in this league to a guy like Danny Spongberg, who, again, it's going to be hard for me to say this to a lot of different guys. Again, a lot of people are going to say Brendan Anderson is the most feared hitter in the league, and I think that's definitely an open ability, an open view. But to me, I think a guy like Spongberg is even more with the speed that he brings. Right, just a basic single or a walk can easily just randomly turn into a triple two pitches later. Again, that's what speed can do for you in this league. We talk about it with Chase DeLoach, a couple guys for the Filth Ballers. They have some guys that are really speed. Trevor Winterstein was a big piece in that walk-off versus these Cropdusters just a couple days ago. So, again, the speed is just such a big factor, especially when you're using wood bats, right? The ball is just not quite going to pop off the bat as well. So if you can get gap to gap and use your speed to, turn a single into a double into a triple, that's just going to help your team so much more.
And speed, not just a thing for the base paths. It really increases his range in the outfield as Wickham turns this one, and it is fair. So Wickham hits this one into left field. Turning two is Wickham, and that'll push Tilton over to third base. So Tilton, after reaching on the hit by pitch, is now at third.
Again, I'm not sure what it is for Stockwell here, but again, he's just really leaving every single ball right over the heart of the plate. The speed is not there. And again, it's not like he's missing out of the zone too much outside of that hit by pitch, but he's just living it right over the middle of the plate. And right now, this is just looking like BP right now for the Cropdusters.
Quick little mound meeting here early for Stockwell. Just trying to get him calmed down. He's unable to retire a batter so far. Leadoff home run by Cade Owens. The difference here so far in this ballgame, 1-0 lead for the Cropdusters. Tilton's on third. Wickham's on second. Cleanup hitter Dakota Hogan waiting.
Again, we'll see how long of a leash they want to give Stockwell here. Again, we mentioned it's not going to be the biggest day pitching-wise. This is going to be the final 2 days of the season, regular season, going to be a lot of hitting because you're using your 6, 7, possibly even 8 guys in the back end of this rotation. So this is really a time for, again, to see who could be available, who could be a guy to trust or be trustworthy in the playoffs, and see who guys you maybe want to leave out going forward.
Especially for the Ray Riders. They already know their opponent. The Cropdusters are still fighting here. They don't know whether they'll be playing the Black Sox or the Filth Ballers. If they end up as a 7 seed, they will play the Black Sox. The 8 seed will play the Filth Ballers. Cropdusters with a win here would secure that 7 seed and play the Black Sox, and that's a lot better of a matchup than playing the Filth Ballers if you really want to look at it. 22-4, just an incredible season for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, that a back-to-back consecutive or back-to-back seasons where they've won the regular season title, looking to go back-to-back again in the tournament title if they can do it. And again, that's been the biggest thing for them. The pitching depth has been just so huge for that group. I've said it since day one. I think the Haymakers and the Filth Ballers have had the deepest pitching staffs this season, and those are the two teams that, again, if you're going to make a long tournament run, 3 days, right? You got 3 to 4 days to work with. See the different guys that you have available, so it's a different look.
Good pitch in there for a strike. It'll be a full count working against Dakota Hogan.
Yeah, Logan Davis now a little bit more speed out there at second. Going to be courtesy running here, but again, we'll see what Hogan can do here in a 3-2.
That pitch is low. Good take from Hogan, so bases loaded coming up for Trayton Kozel, the right fielder.
Yeah, Riley Lang was up in the bullpen. He has come back in here for the Rail Riders. Again, we'll see how much of a leash they want to give here to Stockwell, who, again, we mentioned, has really struggled this season. The speed is not there. He's now even just not quite finding himself in the zone. And when he does, it's right over the heart of the plate to find a barrel.
First pitch outside. Trayton Kozel on the year, 13 for 54. That's 241 in the average. Drawn 7 walks, struck out 14 times. This one hit high to right field. Will stay in play. Making the catch there is Garrett Globe. Tagging up and walking home. And play there at second is safe as well. So all the runners advance on the sacrifice fly from Traden Kozel.
That's a really smart play right there from Hogan as well as Wickham. You understand that ball is really traveling back to Globe out there, and he almost honestly had to backpedal to that, so his entire momentum is going back behind him. So not able to get a good enough of a throw. And honestly, that throw easily should have went on to second. You could hear it, a couple guys yelling to throw that ball into second, but Globe a little bit of a mistake there, throwing it straight home with really no chance to get the speedy Tilton coming from third.
First pitch again low there from Stockwell. Just missing on the first pitch really sets him in a bad mood as he gets to the rest of the at bat. Working from behind a lot harder than working with the lead, as this one's ripped to left, but it will go foul. So Blake Peabody, the designated hitter on the year. Peabody is 7 for 40. That's a 175 average. 6 RBIs. Looking to add to that here with Logan Davis at third, pinch running for Nathan Wickham. Another pitch way inside, 3-1 here.
And again, this is already starting off to look ugly here. I mean, Stockwell is just really struggling to find anything over the heart of the plate. And again, when he does, it's right across the middle. Oh my goodness.
Another one lifted high to left field, but it will go foul.
Yeah, this is straight batting practice right now for the Cropdusters. They are just allowing the ball to travel and winding up and swinging as hard as they can right now.
You know you got Stockwell rattled here. Just got to time him up right and find the gaps if you are Peabody. This one, will it fall in right field? It will not. Good play there from Globe. Holds a runner at third as well, so Davis unable to advance there.
Yeah, again, Peabody, I think, trying to swing at everything he can, and maybe poked a little bit with that one, chased it a little bit, and poked that one. Really good job right there by Globe to be able to come on and make that play. And I think Davis kind of was a little bit cautious towards coming on to home and trying to tag up. It was definitely kind of an in-between situation. Either way, if he won, it would have been a close play. And I lead up to one of the biggest two-way guys, and Anthony Comfort here.
Comfort, the first baseman, on the year hitting 7 for 33. Got 4 singles, 2 doubles. Also 1 home run.
Yeah, Comfort, talking to Jared Jones, he is going to be the guy on Thursday, no matter if they play the Black Sox or the Filth Ballers, that they're going to go to on the mound. Comfort's been the number 1 guy between him and AJ Ventry. They've been kind of going back and forth all season as the number 1 for the Cropdusters. And I think it kind of was more solidified that he was 100% the number 1 after that no-hitter up against the Red Raiders about midway in the season. He's not skipped a beat.
Comfort on the year pitching 35 2/3 innings with an ERA of 2.748. For a consistent starter, that's a very impressive ERA here in the Corn Belt League.
Again, not a lot of guys that are seeing ERAs below 2.5, and again, he's been very consistent. He's got rattled, 1 or 2 times this season, but outside of a game here or there, he's been consistent, and he's helped the Cropdusters be able to stay in games. That's what's been needed for them. And the struggle sometimes has kind of been the pitching depth. I think I've said this since day one. I'm honestly sounding like a broken record this entire summer. Just the depth of pitching has just been such an immense factor, right? You see a team like the Haymakers, you see a team like the Black Sox, you see a team like the Filth Ballers, top 3 guys, right? They have that depth. They have the 4th, 5th, 6th guy that's available and get them quality innings. Some other teams don't. That's kind of been the struggle so far. We mentioned with the Bombers, right? They really can work really good innings out of Layden as well as Eggert, but outside of that's been a struggle. And same kind of thing here with the Cropdusters. Rail Riders have kind of been that third or fourth team that I think have the most depth this season. I think Coach Francisco is making sure they can use all of that here in this postseason.
There's a walk there. So Comfort will head to first, and that'll bring up Thatcher Kozel, the extra hitter. Another mound meeting coming up.
Yeah, I think that'll be the day.
Chance that Stockwell gets pulled here early in the first, as the Rail Riders still have something to fight for. Looking for that home field advantage against the Bombers. And it looks like that will be the day for Stockwell. So we will see a new pitcher come in, and we'll get you introduced to him after the break when we return. And we are back here. New pitcher for the Rail Riders, number 32, Riley Lang. 20 1/3 innings pitch on the year, giving up 15 earned runs, 5.164 ERA, 18 walks on the year, 17 strikeouts on the year. First pitch up and away.
Yeah, again, for Lang this season, it's kind of been a three-pitch mix for him, but outside of really 2 outings, he's been really one of the consistent arms here for the Rail Riders. First game of the season for him back on June 21st. A struggling outing versus the Bombers, 6 earned runs, and then another really struggling outing against the Filth Ballers, 11 runs, 7 of them earned on June 30th. But you talk about the Haymakers game on June 26th, the July 12th game against these Cropdusters here, and then most recently on July 19th against the Red Raiders. He's been consistent, all 3 with 5+ innings of work, and was able to shut down all 3 of those teams with just a run or 2 or 1 earned run or less.
Now that pitch finds a low corner.
And that's been the pitch this season. That curveball for Lang has been just so devastating. You see that, right? It's not quite a 12-6 movement, but it's going to come straight at you looking like a fastball a little bit, but just drops right at the end.
It's a full count here for Lang, 3-2 against number 31, Thatcher Kozel, the extra hitter.
Yeah, Kozel, another big guy to the middle of this order.
And there's a walk, so it'll bring home.
And that's a tough situation to come in. I mean, we literally have not even got through a half of inning so far, and Lang has to warm up and get ready. For a guy that has to come out of the bullpen, it can be a different adjustment, right? You're not quite fully warmed up. You're not quite fully ready for a game like this, and fell behind early to Kozel and couldn't quite find it back. 19th walk of the season for Lang.
First pitch catch in the low corner there against Max Childress, the second baseman for the Cropdusters. On the year, Childress 3 for 30. That's a 100 average, and then 3 strikeouts and 3 RBIs.
Again, Childress, we've seen a lot of the guys coming out of high school, right? He just ended his senior season. A lot of the guys coming out of high school have really struggled this year. Again, it's just kind of a different adjustment to see this level of ball versus some of the guys they're usually used to.
Childress lifts this one into left field. Making the catch in left field is Enertson, but the damage is done for the Cropdusters. 3 runs on 2 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Rail Riders looking to clinch home field advantage against the Omaha Bombers on Thursday. We'll be back after the break. And we are back here. Bottom of the first coming up. Rail Riders down 3 early.
Leading off at the bottom of the first inning for the Rail Riders, the center fielder from Briar Cliff
Stockwell
University,
getting
number
pieced
50,
up there by the
Braden
Cropdusters
Archer.
hitters. Now the Rail Riders offense looks to recover.
Again, I'll be honest, still definitely a manageable situation here for the Rail Riders. I think the Cropdusters, after really blowing that one open here with 3 runs in the top of the first, kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, you saw the little flare, then the walk, and another flare out to left. So, I mean, to say that that inning could have been a lot worse is not a far stretch, as the Cropdusters had bases loaded and some guys coming back out to the plate that definitely could have done damage.
Braden Archer, the leadoff man for the Rail Riders. 17 of 54 in the year. 315 batting average, drawn 15 walks, 10 strikeouts. Another one of those guys that you love at the leadoff spot because of the speed he brings on the base pads. If you get him on base, he'll do his damage.
Again, that's been the job. I mean, that's really the job that you want from a leadoff guy, right? You want to have the ability to take bags, take a single and do a double. Again, you got to get on first, which is what Arch has been able to do. You mentioned the average this season, then maybe figure a way to get a little bit further along. And we mentioned him, we mentioned Trevor Winterstein, we mentioned Danny Spongberg, Kate Owens. Again, this is what you want out of the leadoff guy. Guy gets on a lot and forces havoc on the base paths. You mentioned that 14 stolen bases this season for Archer. Has slowed down a little bit throughout this past 2 weeks.
This one ripped to the second baseman, mishandled there by Childress, so taking first base will be Archer.
Yeah, I think if you're talking to Childress there, he knows that that's a play that should have been made. Definitely not an error, but definitely a hard play working and ranging to his left. Actually, they will call that an error.
So we'll rule that one an error there on Childress.
Braden
Braden Archer will head to first. First pitch low and away there from Fulton.
Now we'll see what Fulton can do here. Kind of going to need to be a redemption start for him. We mentioned, again, not the number 1 and number 2 guys we're going to see here today for either of the 4 teams that we'll see here today. But again, Fulton's going to work that 3-pitch mix, fastball curve change. The curve's going to kind of work a little more slide arm action, a little slurve action. But biggest thing for him, again, another guy that's coming right out of high school, out of Platteview. Elected to play in the Corn Belt League rather than Legion Ball this season. Just felt it was a better fit for him, a little more of a challenge to set himself up and prepare himself for what college ball is going to be like, going out of Northeast Community College. One of 8 guys going to Northeast this season. And here today, the biggest thing from him that he's trying to adjust is making sure that he hits spots. He talks about it here earlier in this one, how a lot of college hitters can do damage, especially when you miss spots, which is a lot different than playing Nebraska high school baseball.
Archer takes second there. Just like you mentioned, that's his 15th stolen base of the year.
He's only been caught once. That was back way early in mid-June. The only guy to be able to take him down was Gage Julin for the Bombers. Biggest thing for me, he's just been able to get such incredible jumps. That's one piece of it, right? You can be speedy, but if you're able to get good jumps, it helps it so much more.
Wickham able to stop the ball, hold Archer at second.
You're Fulton now, especially after giving up the leadoff base run. You've got to be able to work back up here against a really good hitter in Gabriel Baker. Cannot allow another walk. It's kind of been his kryptonite this season. 21 walks compared just to 4 strikeouts.
And there's another walk, so taking first is Gabriel Baker.
Now batting.
I really think, especially you see that fastball, right? His entire body is really working behind him, right? His back's kind of falling off a little bit. That's really a work that you need to be able to use and stabilize that back leg, right? If you can stabilize that back leg, making sure that your front leg comes through correctly and you're not opening up too much, that's kind of been an issue for Fulton. He's just opening up too much and kind of yanking his arm over.
This one hit sharply into left field. Making the catch there is Kate Owens, so Archer will return to second. Finally retiring a batter there is Fulton.
And we mentioned hitting spots. That was definitely a missed spot right there from Fulton, but lucky enough that that line drive is right at an outfielder. Again, those are some of the things that, versus high school versus college ball, there's that kind of offset to an extent, right? You can make mistakes a little bit more and not have it damage you a lot of times at high school ball. That's not going to happen at college ball.
Keegan McLaughlin, the catcher, at the plate now. On the year, McLaughlin is 12 for 32. That's a 375 average. One of the highest on this Rail Riders team. 1 RBI on the year, 11 runs scored. Also drawn 10 walks and struck out 11 times.
Yeah, that's the odd thing. Just 1 RBI this season for McLaughlin, but he's hit really well. I'm not sure what it is, especially at a 4 spot. That's going to be the guy you see all season long adding up or racking up RBIs, but I don't know. It's just kind of not been his situation a lot of different times, but he's still been a really productive piece for the Rail Riders this season. You've seen him mainly behind the plate. He's also been able to hit a little bit DH spot, a little extra hitter as well, and that's kind of the beauty about Corn Belt League baseball. You are able to use 10 guys in your order, so more guys getting more reps. I think McLaughlin has just gotten better as the season's gone on.
375 is the best average on this Rail Riders team, and yeah, just like you mentioned, only 1 RBI is one of the craziest stats to be the best hitter on this team, but only have 1 RBI the whole season.
And he's been 3 through 5 all year. I mean, he's been in those 3 spots all year, and to have a guy like Artster and Baker and a couple other guys in the 1-2 spot, I mean, it's obvious to think, okay, they're going to have more chances to get him on and bring him in, but just hasn't been there. It's not like he's been bad with runners in scoring position either. A 300 batting average with runners in scoring position. So again, not incredible, but still really solid.
This one hit over the shortstop Tilton, and the hold Artser at third. And maybe that's another reason why, just getting singles with runners in scoring position and holding the runner at third. And they will send a pinch runner his way. We see it pretty often, catchers getting pinch runners. It's number 66, Spencer Lehman. He's been a pinch runner pretty often here for the Rail Riders. He was one in their last game.
He's been a guy that you see that courtesy runner a lot of times for both pitchers and catchers, whether they're going to be in the lineup or not. It's a lot of, really more or less, to be able to save the legs of a lot of catchers. It's going to be, when we talk about the dog days of July and August, when the knees are not feeling too good for a lot of catchers, can definitely be a relief having a little bit of a faster guy come out and switch out for a little bit. But you mentioned McLaughlin, right? Not even a single extra base hit this season. So again, those singles have been big. Looking at his spray chart, and he's been able to hit to all sides of the field. It's just been a lot of dinkers that kind of just go over the shortstop that just saw right there.
Finding that outside line there is Fulton working against A.J. Urban.
Yeah, Urban, our impact player here today for this one. He's kind of had a tear these last couple of weeks. He's just been able to find the barrel really consistently.
19 for 56, 1 home run as well for Urban, 8 RBIs.
Yeah, and that 1 home run was way out here. That was a shot like no other. This past week, him up against the Bombers on July 10th, it was right off the barrel. You knew it was gone. You could hear that beautiful sound. That's kind of the difference between kind of a metal bat versus a wooden bat. You know when it's pieced up on a wood bat.
That one up and away for Fulton. He's struggling with his command here early, unable to find the strike zone against many hitters.
Again, I'm not sure what it is. This is a different thing. Again, you have to be able to see at the college level, right? The way he tips his pitches a little bit is that slider. It's a different arm angle coming out of his hand rather than that fastball. So I think that sometimes, again, getting a little bit too far out in front could be an issue.
There's one way inside on Urban. So after being up 0-2 in the count, it's now 2-2. We'll see if Fulton can put him away. Don't want to risk throwing one away here. It's got to be over the plate. Big swing and a miss there for A.J. Urban, and First strikeout of the afternoon for Matthew Fulton.
Really good pitch right there from Fulton. Again, you know you still do have a pitch to waste, but again, that's kind of the different setup, right? You have bases loaded here. Can you waste the pitch? Are you going to be okay setting yourself up 3-2, but and maybe setting the eye level a little bit for a setup pitch, but still got Urban to chase a really good high fastball up and in.
That'll bring up number 51, Whit Rogers, 13 for 41 on the year, batting .317, 4 RBIs, 5 runs scored. And with 2 outs, Rogers looking to add to that RBI total and cut into this Cropduster lead.
Yeah, Whit had an RBI single technically in the June 7th game, but just ended here just before this to be able to help the Rail Riders add on and beat the Black Sox. You know, we talk about who's hot and who's not going into the postseason. That can be a different story, right? You can have a team that's been good all season long but lose their last 6, and it's an entirely different story. And that's kind of been what I'm seeing here for the Black Sox. It's kind of been an odd setup for them. They've lost some games they really should win, and they really need to find a way to get back before we head to Thursday and kind of reset themselves. But again, you see on the other end some teams that have been really hot. The Rail Riders have been a pretty hot team. The Bombers have been a pretty hot team. The Haymakers have been arguably the hottest team in the league these past couple of weeks. And if they get right, one game can do the job.
That ball is fair. Whit Rogers hits this one into left field. So a 2 RBI single for Whit Rogers means it's a 3-2 ball game.
And you put bat on ball, good things are going to happen. And just got out in front of it. Definitely, I guess, not the swing you'd want if you're Rogers, but still able to get it just down the third base line. Got just enough of the barrel on it to get down the left field line. Again, we mentioned this past inning in the top of the inning, right? The Cropdusters could have added on more and kind of blown the lead open. It might have hurt them later on. And now here you go, a chance here for the Rail Riders.
First pitch outside. This is number 90, Jackson Van Pelt. Sorry, 40, Jackson Van Pelt. That one gets past, so McLaughlin will score. It's all tied up after that one.
Again, Fulton really struggling here. We mentioned just the inability to find the zone for Fulton this season. That's kind of been the biggest struggle for him, and he kind of just digging himself even more a hole. Again, we said the ability for Riley Lang to be able to come in and make it manageable now has a shot here for the Rail Riders to take back the lead just in the first inning. The pitching is definitely not going to be here for our last couple of games, but the offense has been. And this is a time to maybe help your stats out a little bit, find a way to find a little bit more barrels, and again, even more, maybe add some more confidence before you head to the postseason.
So here's Van Pelt with Rogers at second. Van Pelt on the year 8 for 28. Drew on 7 walks as well.
Yeah, oddly, Van Pelt, mainly an oppo guy, has been able to push the ball the other way into the right center gap a lot. And that's what's really open right now. That right center gap is huge.
That one fouled back.
Yeah, again, my apologies. Left center gap is what I meant to say. But and Copeland out there in center is shading a little bit more pull side. You'll see again with Fulton, who's really tried to establish the outer half. Kind of missed a little bit, but we'll see if he tries to go out the other way in a big 3-2 pitch here. If you're Fulton, got to find a way to get out of this inning.
Fulton delivers, and it is a strikeout looking, so we'll head to the top of the second. Tied up, though. Rail Riders get all 3 runs back in the bottom of the first. Top of the second coming up for the Cropdusters. We're going to see Copeland at the bottom, the 10-spot hitter, and then we'll go back to the top for the Cropdusters and Owen and Tilton when we return. are back here, 3-3, top of the second coming up for the Cropdusters. We're going to see the 10-spot hitter, Copeland, and then we'll head back to the top of the order in Owens and Tilton.
And we mentioned that last inning, 9 guys coming to the plate for the Cropdusters, and an opportunity for them to blow it open, wide open, but only able to get 3 runs, left the bases loaded with 2 outs. And I think we kind of prefaced it a little bit that it could come back to bite him, and did it a little bit with really Fulton really struggling in that first.
Count is 1-1 here.
See what Copeland can do here. Another guy to the bottom of the order outside of Peabody, who has kind of really struggled this season. And the offense has kind of been the question mark for the Cropdusters this year. We talk about comfort. You see Ventries, who's been kind of the number 1 and 2 guys for the Cropdusters. The pitching, this top half of the pitching has been very good. But the offensive production has been the question mark, especially the bottom of the order has really struggled.
2-2 the count is. That one gets away from Lang. Three and two. Full count coming up here.
A much-needed big AB right here for Copeland. 8 different guys for this Cropdusters team with 30 at-bats or more are batting under 200. So quality at-bat right there from Copeland, and maybe get something started. And we'll see how long they want to go with Lang here. Definitely another option that Coach Francisco can use for the playoffs this upcoming weekend. 100% they will play Friday in the 8 p.m. game in that one. And talking to Coach Francisco before that, they're most likely going to rely on Austin Shelton. We'll see how long they want to go with him. But outside of that, they're going to be open to Garrett Vosica as well as Nick Mersek. Mersek is, well as Vosica, would be available the next day if they get there. And I think Lang would be another option here out of the back end of the bullpen for the Rail Riders.
Yeah, you got Shelton, Vosica, Mersek, probably the top 3 guys in that rotation for the Rail Riders.
And Mersek's not even a guy that, at least this past season, pitched too much at the college level, but has done a really good job really throwing upper 80s.
Stealing second there is Copeland. Copeland, another guy who brings speed there to the bottom of the lineup, so kind of like a second leadoff man. If he gets on base, he's got the green light to steal.
Yeah, 9 runs this season, so he's been able to bring himself around once he gets on. 11 stolen bases, and second best in the team outside of Owens. So again, you mentioned that kind of the second leadoff hitter is what a lot of different guys, a lot of different coaches are kind of more relying on recently.
Copeland goes again on the hit and run. He'll advance to third. Play will be made at first.
Now batting.
Yeah, strong at bat right there from Kate Owens. Again, you see the hit and run. Definitely not a pitch that a lot of times you're going to be swinging at as a righty. A little bit more outside. Didn't quite chase it too much, but a good job right there to really kind of slap that one down. Make sure it's on the ground, right? That can be a trouble sometimes when you leave it up in the air.
This one hit to right field, and it gets past the right fielder, Garrett Globe. So coming home there is Copeland. And Tilton will hold up at second, so it's an RBI double for Jack Tilton.
Yeah, Globe, I think, is shaking his head a little bit out there, right? A really bad route to that ball. He came on thinking that one was right at him, but kept tailing a little bit. That movement, right, coming off the bat on a pull side, just kept kind of tailing more towards right field, and Globe kind of didn't realize it till too late. Ended up having to go all the way to the wall for that one. That one very well could have been a line out if Globe could have found a way, a good route to it.
I'll bring up Nathan Wickham. He was our impact player for today. Coming into this game, 16 for 46, hitting 348 on the year. As taking third is Tilton, another stolen base there.
Yeah, make it 7 on the season for Tilton. Again, that's something that's so big for some of these teams. We mentioned how much speed can do damage to some of these defenses, and when you're able to wreak havoc up against different guys, it's so big because not one, you're able to advance yourself another base, and two, even if you don't do that, you're making sure you're in the head of a lot of these pitchers.
Good pitch in there from Lang. Falls for 1-2. That one low, so it'll be 2-2.
Yeah, see what Lang wants to be able to do here. The entire infield in, making sure that they're able to cut off Tilton if it comes in. Outfield playing a little bit shallow. Garrett Globe pretty much stand up out there and right, but out in center, Archer is pretty much in.
Big swing and a miss there for Wickham, so he'll strike out swinging. It'll bring up Dakota Hogan.
That's exactly what you need right there if you're Riley Lang. Get one yourself. Make sure, again, this game stays manageable, right? Both offenses have been prolific, so you can rely on your offense to at least be trustworthy to help you get a couple more runs. If you can keep it a close game, you allow your offense to have some more chances to get back the lead.
Big swing and miss there from Dakota Hogan.
I don't want to quite fully say Lang is in his groove here, but definitely a lot more comfortable than at least the start of his outing so far. He's working a little bit of a quicker pace, and all of his stuff has a little bit better movement on it.
That one just tails outside. This one hit to left center field. It's shallow. Coming down on it is Enertson making the catch. So Cropdusters add one, so it's 4-3. They have a one-run lead as we head to the bottom of the second. We'll be back after the break. And we are back here heading up the bottom of the second inning. We got Globe, Chandler, and Locks coming up for the Railroaders. Let's take a quick look here at the current playoff standings. No real big changes from yesterday. Filth Ballers, Red Raiders won 8. Bombers, Rail Riders, Haymakers, Royal Blue Dogs, and Black Sox, Cropdusters. Those are your 4 matchups there. As you can see, the quarterfinals being played on Thursday and Friday. We'll see if anything changes here, but if there are changes, they're going to be minuscule, only 1 or 2 teams really with anything in effect.
Yeah, what would be needed, the Rail Riders to be able to jump up to that 4 spot would have to win here up against the Cropdusters. If they do not, they'll stay at the 5. They'll be the away team on Friday at 8 p.m. here at Seymour Smith Park, going up against the Bombers. So the 4-5 spot's known, or at least we know what 2 teams will be there, just rather which team will be what. The Bombers with 2 wins yesterday up against the Rail Riders, a continuation game in their first game, and then right after that with the Black Sox, able to kind of set themselves up for a good spot here. Cropdusters could win here. If they do win here, they're solidified as the 7th spot. If they lose, they would need to make sure that the Red Raiders do not win up against the Haymakers to be able to keep themselves at the 7. The Red Raiders, again, have kind of been going back and forth, have not quite shown as much of their early season struggles to be able to get a win here or there after really struggling the first couple of weeks of the season. But the Cropdusters have kind of fallen off a platter a little bit these last couple of weeks.
You mentioned the Bombers yesterday and talking about momentum. 2 run rules. They beat the Royal Blue Dogs 11-1, and then they ended up beating last night the Black Sox 15-5. So you want to talk about momentum, and another team that's really hot right now, the Haymakers. Their last 2 games, they've scored a total of 31 runs. They scored 17 against the Filth Ballers and then 14 against the Black Sox in a 14-2 victory. It's 15.5 runs each game. This one lifted high to left field, and it'll hit the wall. It's fair, so heading to second there is number 11, Garrett Globe.
Talk about maybe a little bit of redemption after a really bad route this past thing on a fly ball to him. Once again, a ball that was just absolutely pieced. We saw that with Cade Owens to start off the day, and a beautiful barrel right there by Garrett Globe. And you talk about, again, the momentum coming into the playoffs, right? The Cropdusters have lost their last 5 straight, and then on the other end, the Haymakers have won their past 5 straight. So again, it's kind of what team's moving where. It's not always about what team is the best record. It's kind of who's hot at the right time, especially when it comes down to truly just one game or two.
Another thing that could come into effect here is teams getting the amount of rest a team is getting. So these are the last 2 games of the regular season. So there are teams that aren't playing today that get an extra day here before the quarterfinals on Thursday and Friday. We'll see if that comes into play. Who can throw where in terms of arms and who has enough rest.
We'll talk about the Filth Ballers. I mean, they're your number 1 team, and you haven't played since Saturday. I mean, you have 5 days off to be able to work with, get your entire pitching staff back and ready. And again, we talk about another team that has a really deep pitching staff as well. I think they likely will either CJ Fleeman, maybe see a couple other guys in that mix. You can see Justin Drury being the number 1 guy there, but so many different guys available that they can trust with going game 1.
This one hit high. The catch is made there by Tilton. So Chandler pops out to the shortstop and bring up PJ Lokes.
Yeah, PJ this season, Laux has just been, again, a guy we mentioned a little bit with Copeland kind of being the speed threat at the bottom of the order, being somewhat of a second leadoff hitter. Laux has been kind of the same thing. We've actually seen him in the number 1 and number 2 spot alongside Braden Archer all season long. So again, a guy with a lot of speed, hits for average. He's kind of tapered off a little bit as of late, but still a guy that is a consistent hitter.
And right on cue, this one into left center field. Good play made there. A chance for a double play. It is made. Wow, what a great play there in left field by Cade Owens. Getting the first out and then able to use that IQ to throw out the runner at second. No runs on 1 hit for the Rail Riders. For the Cropdusters, it'll bring up Trayton Kojal, Blake Peabody, and Anthony Comfort here in the top of the 3rd. They have a 1-run lead. They'll look to add to that when we return.
Number 35.
And we are back here. Trayton Kojal, the right fielder, last time up, sacrifice fly that scored 1.
And Kojal's again a guy that working alongside his brother and Thatcher have been two guys that just hit very consistently this season. And I think Trayton, the biggest piece with him is that he knows, right, kind of the situation at hand. A very high IQ type of ball player. And just able to make sure that he has a lot of different team at-bats. He's mentioned in just that sac fly this past 2 innings ago in the first. And he's able to help out the team, just bring in runs when needed.
This one ripped over the head of Whit Rogers. It'll fall in right field. Getting under his globe. So it'll be a leadoff single for Kozel.
Really good barrel right there from Kozel. Just able to, again, allow that ball to travel. And, again, I think it's easy for a lot, especially lefty hitters, to see that ball coming near towards them, right? A little bit more of a glove side movement right there from Lang. It's really easy for a lot of lefties to try to pounce on it, try to see that ball, the eyes light up right down the middle and try to overswing at it. But a really good job by Kozel right there to allow that ball to travel, get himself back into his back hips, and have a good barrel right through the zone.
That brings up Peabody. Coming into today, Blake Peabody hitting 175. However, he does have 2 home runs on the year, the only crop duster with multiple home runs. Big swing and a miss there for 1-1.
And right after that first inning, which was all offense, it's kind of calmed down a little bit between these two offenses. A couple different chances for both these teams, but again, we'll see which team can kind of break it open, maybe find themselves a little bit of a bigger lead, as I think both these pitchers have kind of felt a little more comfortable here.
Runner goes. Play is made at first for Peabody, but advancing Kozel to second.
I think definitely Urban over there at third, at least thought about for a second going to second to try to either get the lead runner, but with Trayton going so fast down the first and second base, or between first and second, just especially with on that chopper, just not enough coming at him for him to be able to make sure he can get that lead runner. So again, now we're in a scoring position here. See if we're going to see comfort here, maybe flare one out into right center and bring Kozel home. Kozel, again, definitely a speedy enough guy to any ball in the outfield. You're going to get at least that minimum of close play at home.
A little bit of action here in the Rail Riders bullpen. Potentially a chance for Riley Lang to head off the mound. Number 66, Spencer Lehman, listed as an outfielder from Midland University. It's a chance to see him throw, as well as number 44, PJ Locks.
Yeah, Laux, again, I'm not quite 100% sure if they're going to work him truly as a reliever here today, or they might even just want to work him a little bit as maybe a bullpen, getting himself ready for Friday, right? A lot of times different guys either starting or relieving, right? You want to set yourself up to get yourself fully ready to be in a game time atmosphere, even more so when we talk about postseason play. So we'll see if Mersick is actually going to be a guy here later today, or excuse me, Laux is going to be a guy later here today, or maybe allow him to be another relief arm here in the postseason.
This one hit shallow left center. Getting under it is center fielder Artzer.
And those are the kind of at-bats you really need if you're laying, right? Again, sometimes you're not always going to have your best blow-by stuff, and you don't have to be that if you're laying. Really good job just to get comfort to barely miss on that ball.
PJ Locke still throwing in the bullpen. Looks like they took out Spencer Lehman. He's returned to the dugout. No movement in the Cropdusters bullpen. You're going to let Fulton keep throwing here.
And I was told before this either Logan Davis and or Cade Owens would be the next guys up for the Cropdusters. Again, they're really making sure that they keep Comfort, Poteet, as well as AJ Ventry available for this postseason play. And it still does kind of mean some things here in this game. If they do win it here for the Cropdusters, you're going to kind of clinch up that 7th spot.
Fouled over to the Cropdusters dugout. Last time up, Kozel walked. Will score the runner at second.
A 1-2 pitch here. You have a couple pitches to waste. You also have a base open, so I think if you're laying here, you cannot give really anything inside the zone here to Cole. So you got to make sure that you're going to get Thatcher to chase in some way.
1-2 here for Lang. in the dirt, so it'll be 2-2.
Yeah, don't mind that pitch right there. Kind of a little bit of change-up movement there, just dropping off kind of a two-seam movement. And outside, Sam, I think you maybe want to attack here. Either go that curveball in that outer half or make sure that you're going to go a fastball up and outside the zone.
There it is, fastball outside. Full count.
Really good discipliner.
There it is, a walk. So Thatcher Kozel will head to first. That'll bring up Max Childress.
Yeah, we talk about discipline at bats, making sure that you are having team first, and that's what Kozel did right there. You don't got to do too much, but after being down 1-2, able to fight off a foul ball and then kind of work a couple balls and figure your way just 90 feet further.
Now with 2 outs, runners on first and second for Childress. Last time up, a fly ball to left field. That ended the first inning.
We talked about it, the bottom of the order has really struggled, as Jared Jones has kind of been mixing a lot of different guys in that bottom 3 spot between Peabody, Childress, Copeland. Kind of seen them a little bit, seen some other guys in Horner and Javon Suarez, Easton Barnes a little bit, Barrett Ringel. A lot of guys have struggled. We mentioned 8 different guys with 30-plus plate appearances, all batting under 200.
Good movement there on that pitch from Lang, but it just falls outside.
Yeah, Lang wanted that call. The curveball hasn't quite been as consistent here in the third as it was in the second. He could really get a lot of bite, but it's kind of looping a little bit. Doesn't quite have the same command he did in the second.
This one hit high to right field. And it falls foul. Unable to get under it. Or any of Whit Rogers, Nolan Chandler, or Garrett Globe.
Chandler was hustling out from second. He was on a dead sprint to that ball, and I think see a little bit of frustration there. He thought after that much effort he would have a chance to get it. But no way for Whit Rogers, who's, again, that's kind of a really tough play, especially for a first baseman, right? You're kind of going back behind you straight up, so it's really hard to gauge. A little bit, honestly, an easier play for that second baseman because you have that ability to range and a little more comfortable of a look. Really good effort right there, trying to get the third out, but we'll see if Lang can get one himself here.
There it is, strikeout swinging, and that'll end the top of the third inning. No runs, 1 hit for the Cropdusters. Due up for the Rail Riders, we'll see top of the order again in Braden Archer, Gabriel Baker, and Derek Enardson. They'll try and recover this 1-run deficit for the Rail Riders after the break. Back here, bottom of the third, top of the order here for the Rail Riders, and Archer, Baker, and Enardson. Last time up, Archer reached on an error by Childress, and then a stolen base. Ended up scoring a run after a few walks and a RBI single there from Whit Rogers. Pitch inside from Fulton, 1-1.
Yeah, I think we'll see here. This is a big inning, I believe, here for Fulton, right? It's a situation where And you're able to kind of bounce back at a 1-2-3 inning, but a lot of help from your defense this past that inning. It's a time now you got to be able to make sure you find the zone consistently. It does look like Logan Davis is up in the bullpen now for the Cropdusters. Very well could be the final inning for Fulton, but I think especially when you're seeing the second time through the order, the guys have already seen your stuff. This is a time to maybe work backwards up against Archer a little bit, but got to make sure you find the command.
That one low and away, 2-2. Davis on the year, 10 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 13 earned runs, 8.53 ERA. 9 appearances, all in relief. No games started there for Davis. This one hit right to the shortstop, Tilton. And was a play made? No, it was not. Doing the splits at first base was Comfort, but able to beat out the throw there was Braden Archer, and just showing you why his speed is so important to this Red Raiders team.
Yeah, Archer, again, a little chopper, and that's some of those things. You talk about speed can be dangerous. Again, Tilton not able to come onto that ball strong enough, kind of allowed it to, I don't want to say allowed it to travel back a little bit, but didn't quite overly put himself in an aggressive position to come up and track that ball. So Archer, a really good job making sure that he's able to hustle down the first base line. That's what hustle can give you. Again, when you have that speed, you have that effort, sometimes good things can happen.
Baker last time up walked and then ended up scoring a run. This one hit to Tilton, looking at turn 2. First out is made, and the second out is made as well, so it's a double play ball there. And Fulton's defense helps him out there, going Tilton to Childress to Comfort for 2 outs.
Taylor made right there. Easy ground ball over to Tilton. Childress, then back over to Comfort. Easy 6-4-3. That's the way you're going to draw it up every single time. I mean, Tilton barely even had to move, take a little 2-step, line himself up really well to get a strong flip over to Childress, and then an easy throw on to first. And Fulton, again, doing a really good job being able to answer back and find a way to minimize here in the third.
That one just low and outside.
I really like the way Fulton's been able to kind of bring back his confidence, right? A guy that has really struggled with walks this season, 21 coming into today, but now has found himself back again, really trying to attack up against really the biggest piece of this Rail Riders order.
Only given up 1 walk today so far. This one's hit. Lined out to the right fielder. Trayton Kozel making the play there. No runs on 1 hit for the Rail Riders, but the double play ball really killed him there. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Top of the 4th inning, I should say, for the Cropdusters. They're still looking to add to this lead here against the Rail Riders in their final game of the regular season. And back here at the top of the 4th inning, 10-1-2 coming up for the Cropdusters, and Copeland, Owens, and Tilton.
The Cropdusters, the center fielder from Bethany College, number 11, Caleb Copeland.
Copeland, center fielder from Bethany College.
A new pitcher here for the Rail Riders. PJ Lauk's been a really consistent arm out of the bullpen. I really like what Francisco's been able to do. Again, you do have a game that doesn't mean incredibly too much. It's home field advantage for your first game of the postseason.
Great play made there from Gabriel Baker. Coming down on that ball to the shortstop and throwing it over to Whit Rogers for the first out of the inning on Copeland.
Yeah, again, Baker, that's kind of that textbook kind of ground ball coming towards you. One of those little nubblers kind of in front of you. A really good job to be able to come up on that ball. And again, your entire body's moving the other way, more towards the third base dugout. And a really good job to set his momentum a little bit over and get a good throw.
Top of the order coming up for the Cropdusters and Owens.
Yeah, a little bit of a misstep right there from Laus. He tried to go in and maybe either his front foot, I think, did a little toe tap on the front, but a good adjustment at least to get it across the plate. With Laus, and another guy with this Jonathan Francisco bullpen here for the Rail Riders that's been pretty consistent this season at 2.83 ERA, and the speed's been big. He really works a upper 80s fastball.
That one popped out too. Second baseman Nolan Chandler. So Laus making quick work here, the Cropdusters.
Laus 12 strikeouts in his 12 and a third innings pitched this season. Again, a guy just has a bunch of speed. He's going to fill up the strike zone early and often, a 70% first pitch strike percentage. And again, when he can find that fastball early like he did right there, he finds himself a lot more comfortable counts, and then he switches back right. He finds this pace to keep a lot of hitters off balance.
Now heading the count here, 0-2, and Laus 5 walks on the year compared to 12 strikeouts. He's averaging more than 2 strikeouts per walk. That's a crazy stat here, especially in the Corn Belt League. You know, a lot of these hitters, if it's over the plate, they're going to swing it and they're going to make contact with it. So it's a good stat to have there for Laus.
Yeah, the flip side of that with that speed is kind of the hard hit ball percentage, a 42% hard hit ball percentage. So when guys are able to find the ball, they can.
And there's a strikeout looking. Laus goes 1, 2, 3, and the Cropdusters go down looking there. Jack Tilton left dumbfounded by that pitch from Laus. It'll bring up the bottom of the fourth here for the Rail Riders. Coming up is McLaughlin, Urban, and Rogers. They try to recover this one-run deficit. This is Corn Belt League Baseball. And we are back here. New pitcher in for the Cropdusters, so that was the end of the day for Matthew Fulton. Number 19, Logan Davis, 10 2/3 innings pitched for the Dakota West University product. ERA of 8.531, giving up 13 earned runs.
Yeah, Davis this season, 9 appearances so far for this group. Again, kind of been a ladder bullpen option, not a huge pitcher, but being able to eat up some much-needed innings for the Cropdusters, like we mentioned, that it's kind of struggled having that depth of the bullpen, and hopefully we'll work here and find a way to keep Matthew Fulton possibly for his first win of the season. He says it is in line currently. Dave's going to work a 3-pitch mix, a fastball, sinker action that is kind of a 2-seam grip, but just is going to be held up a little bit towards a sider movement. Hasn't going to have that true 2-seam look. It's going to dip down a little bit more with that sinker. Will also work a little bit of a true slider action, kind of with his sidearm delivery a little bit as well. And we'll see him again. How can the Cropdusters make sure they can keep this win here? They're going to win here for the Cropdusters, would lock up all 8 spots here in the postseason, even with just 1 game left to go. So if the Cropdusters win here, they lock up the 7th seed. The Red Raiders will be set even with a win or a loss tonight at the 8. And the Rail Riders would make sure that they are still set. They would be the away team on Friday at 8 p.m. up against the Bombers in a 4-5 matchup.
Davis down 3-1 in the count here early. We're against Keegan McLaughlin. Last time up, McLaughlin had a single. And eventually the pinch runner in for McLaughlin, that was Spencer Lamb, number 66, ended up scoring. It'll be a full count here.
And if I'm Coach Jared Jones right now and the Cropdusters, I think this win, again, a lot of guys that are not used to too much in these situations this season are going to have to be called on to make sure they get this win. But this is going to be a really important one for them to be able to make sure they can set themselves at the 7th spot. At least personally for me, I'd much rather play a team like the Black Sox, who have lost 3 of their last 4, than seemingly the best team that we've seen these last couple of years in the footballs, who have been so hot and are rested.
Strikeout swing in there for Keegan McLaughlin, brings up A.J. Urban. So Logan Davis striking out the first batter he sees. Now working against the third baseman for the Row Riders. Great move in there on that pitch. That falls in the zone.
Yeah, there's that slider, that little piece movement that's just going to drop him down late. A lot of side action movement. It's not quite a cutter, but again, that's a little bit more of a better feel to that slider coming to the sidearm.
That one low and away. Good stop there by Nathan Wickham.
And that's kind of the difference here for Davis sometimes when he's sometimes been tacked up. You mentioned the 8.53 ERA, 14 runs allowed, 13 of them earned, and 8 hit by pitches. So again, the command isn't always going to be there for a guy that comes entirely out of the stretch.
1-2 the count now after that ball's fouled back. Another pitch low and away there for Davis. It'll be 2-2.
Is it time maybe to go to slider here if you can feel more comfortable with it? Do you have a pitch to waste against Urban, who chased the one earlier? Time maybe to try to get him to chase on the outer half.
And there it is, but good hitting there from Urban, not swinging at that one.
Yeah, disciplined plate appearance. We saw him chase and swing away at a fastball the first time we saw him up. And a really good, more disciplined take here, learned from his first at-bat.
And there it is, the walk. So Urban will head to first base. That'll bring up Whit Rogers, the first baseman.
Yeah, really good at-bat right there from Urban. Again, we mentioned Urban kind of chasing away a little bit at his first at-bat, but that's kind of what a lot of games can do for you. It shows kind of the maturity of a hitter, right? You are understanding, okay, you make a mistake in the first time. You see a different hitter, or a different pitcher, excuse me, and you're not quite finding your best stuff. How do you adjust? It's a game of adjustments. As a pitcher, as a hitter, as a fielder, this game is all about adjustments and mid-game adjustments a lot of different times. quicker you can make adjustments, the better of a ball player you're going to be. It's never going to be your day 100% of the time, but if you can find a way to tweak those performances a little bit, find ways to adjust yourself and adjust your hitting style, go a long way and keep you playing baseball a lot longer.
That pitch in there for a strike.
Right, Davis back-to-back fastballs right there. Not sure quite what Rogers is looking for there, but 2 fastballs that were really well painted in the outer half. I'm not quite sure if Rogers might be too comfortable putting it the other way, but got to fight down here now, out down 0-2.
Rogers calls for time. Looks to regroup here, working against Davis. 1 strikeout already for Davis, and then 1 walk on A.J. Urban, who's at first. Swing and a miss there. That's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Logan Davis, as Whit Rogers will head back to the bullpen, to the dugout.
Yeah, talk about going right back at him.
Now batting.
3 fastballs right there on all 3 strikes from Logan Davis. 2 of them just blown by Whit Rogers. Maybe a little bit of frustration right there to see Rogers going back to the dugout. Not sure if he was guessing too much, but definitely did not seem too comfortable up there at the plate.
Jackson Van Pelt, the extra hitter, up to bat now. Good pitch on the inside half there from Davis.
See if Davis can get out of this inning unscathed, even with the runner there at first. If you can get out of this inning a little more of a confidence boost to see if your offense can maybe try to propel themselves a little bit more after really struggling ever since the 2nd.
This one's lifted to right center field, but getting there in time is Caleb Copeland. And so Logan Davis gives up a walk, but 2 strikeouts, so pretty solid showing here for Davis as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Up for the Cropdusters, we're going to see Nathan Wickham, Dakota Hogan, and Trayton Kozel. This is Cornville League Baseball. We'll be back after the break. We are back here, top of the 5th inning. Cropdusters with a 4-3 lead. Nathan Wickham up to bat, the catcher. Hit a double in the 1st inning, struck out in the 2nd inning.
We'll see what Wickham can do here up against P.J. Laux, who had a dominant past inning and already starting off pretty strong.
That one fielded by Rogers and flipped to Laux for the 1st out.
Really strong start here for P.J. Laux. Again, this speed from him, he's just been able to rear back. Really seems coming out of the hand. It's really reaching up to upper 80s, might be even touching 90 here for Laux. I think the Cropdusters have really just been able to work really well up against them. They've just kind of been allowing themselves to get down sometimes in counts, and even when they do make contact, it's been really missed. They haven't been able to find really any barrels or any really strong swings to the zone.
This one hit to the 3rd baseman, making the snag, and the throw across there is in time. A.J. Urban, great play there, good movement.
And talk even more about a beautiful angle. No chance that that ball got past him. even with Gabriel Baker, who we've seen be able to make a play going to his backside, but especially with his speed going down the first base line right there from Hogan, there was really no chance for Baker to make a play. So a really good angle right there from Urban, and even on the run to be able to make a strong throw.
This one chopped to the first baseman. Making the play there is Whit Rogers, and the throw across. Good little work of PFP there from Rogers and Laux, and Laux has retired the first 6 batters he's faced, making quick work of these Cropdusters in the past 2 half innings. Due up for the Rail Riders in the bottom of the 5th, Globe, Chandler, and Laux. We'll have that when we return. Bottom of the 5th coming up for the Rail Riders, Globe, Chandler, and Laux. Globe, the right fielder, also plays for the Creighton University club team.
Number 11, Garrett Globe.
Yeah, one of 2 guys for this Rail Riders team, him alongside Matthew Kelfkin, who's kind of been another bullpen arm for them this season, of both working at Creighton club team. Researching that group, I honestly didn't know Creighton even had a club team coming into the season, but kind of see the way that kind of works. It's really interesting to see like how different schools go back and forth, the club teams battling back and forth, the national tournament at the end of the year, which Creighton was able to be a part of. It's kind of a really cool, different atmosphere for a lot of different guys, again, that either didn't choose to play baseball at that level, or found a way to maybe do academics first, but still have the opportunity to play baseball even at a D1 college where they're not playing D1 baseball.
I think it's a great thing. Club sports, especially in college, allows for that competitiveness while isn't the commitment of a D1 sport or even a D2 sport. I know many colleges have those club athletics that are a little bit more competitive than intramurals if you still want to compete a little bit after high school. So definitely a great thing that club sports are for colleges.
Hey, case the point where you're going, Arnav. I mean, Syracuse with a club baseball team.
I'm not a baseball player, but maybe I'll cover them a few times. That's the goal.
Arnav Pokhrel on the mound. I need to see that one day.
I
need to see that one day. You in a ball field.
Well, we'll see. Maybe in an adult league when I'm 60 years old and
we need to do
playing softball.
Corn Belt League Crew softball.
We can make that a podcast idea.
Yes. Hey, I heard our PA guy Connor's liking it. He's in. We got it. Corn Belt League softball. Corn Belt League. Yes. No. You gotta play. You gotta play, Connor. Connor doesn't want to do it. Hey, bowlers aren't always the best baseball players.
That ball fouled off. Full count here.
Might have said something wrong there. We're not going to talk about it. I might have said something wrong there.
Globe working with a full count against Davis. There's a walk. Globe will take first base.
Now batting, the second baseman.
Gonna bring up the second baseman. Number 1, Nolan Chandler.
Nolan Chandler.
Chandler from Anoka Ramsey Community College. Coming into this game, Chandler was 3 for 29, hitting 103, 11 walks drawn, 20 strikeouts. Coming in today, led the team in strikeouts, so player that loves to go down swinging. First pitch up and in from Davis. Second pitch just high there, so 2-0 the count. Another pitch high. Davis really struggling to find the zone here. Bottom of the 5th with a 1-run lead for the Cropdusters. Davis really just got to find something here, put it over the plate. Obviously, you're not expecting Chandler to swing here. You don't want to ground out into a double play on a 3-0 count. Puts that one over the plate and gets a strike finally for 3-1. If you're Davis, you're looking for a pitch low that Chandler just grounds to either the second baseman or shortstop, making a nice little routine double play. And that one outside, it'll be a walk. So Chandler will advance to first base, move Globe to second. 2 consecutive walks here for Logan Davis.
Now batting, the pitcher.
No movement in the bullpen for the Cropdusters. They're going to see if Davis can get out of this small jam here. Laux up to bat. Started the game as the designated hitter, now pitching. First pitch strike there for Davis. With runners on first and second, got a little bit of speed there at second base. And Garrett Globe. Nolan Chandler follows at first. Also speed there for the second baseman. If Laux can get on base here, it'll bring up Archer in the top of the order for the Rail Riders. That pitch outside, 1-1. This one hit up into center field. Getting under it is Copeland. It'll hold the runner at second, so Laux flies out to the center fielder. It'll bring up top of the order. And Archer, following Archer, we'll see Baker and Eartson if the Rail Riders can get there.
Top of the order, the center fielder, Briarcliff University, number 50.
With one out and runners in on first and second, really not the worst situation here for Davis because there's a force out at every single base. Good movement there on the pitch from Davis. Starts on the outer half and works his way back inside for a strike. Oh, 2 now the count here against Archer. Archer reached on an error in the first inning, hit a single, and then was part of that double play that Baker hit following him. This one hit to the second baseman, Chandler. Sorry, that's Childress. And play there at third. They got him in a pickle. Chance to turn 2 here. And making the tag on Globe is the catcher, Wickham. So a little bit of errant base running there from the Rail Riders means that they end That runners on first and second with one out turns into the end of the inning. The Cropdusters get out of that one. Good work there from Davis and the rest of the Cropduster defense. They'll be back up here in the top of the sixth. We'll see Peabody, Comfort, and Kozel when we return. And up here for the Cropdusters in the top of the sixth, Blake Peabody, the designated hitter.
Again, what an odd way to end this past inning for the Rail Riders. Really good opportunity maybe to tie this one up, but the second time that we've seen Garrett Globe kind of getting off a little bit and being able to see a chance to be able to score, but right after that got a little bit too far away from third and got picked off trying to come home.
Peabody lifts one into left field. It's caught there by Enertson for the out.
Yeah, we saw that earlier in this one when Garrett Globe got on with the double. Right after that, a line drive to left. Was able to make the play out there and left was Owens, and then doubled off Globe, who was, again, trying to maybe stretch a little bit too much out. I thought it was going to drop and got picked off back at second, excuse me. Also, apologies for my odd absence there for about an inning.
This is Comfort here, the first baseman, walked and then flied out to center field.
We'll see how Laus can adjust here in this next inning of work right here. But again, weak contact we just see from him all day.
That one mishandled by both Baker and Chandler. Just a little bit of miscommunication who's going for the ball there, and it hits off the glove of one of them. Couldn't really see who it hit.
Yeah, I think it hit off of Baker, and Baker's not happy with that at all. That is 100% Gabriel Baker's ball, especially coming back up the middle. He has the entire angle coming towards first base, and kind of an odd play. I'm not sure even why Chandler was going after that one. Allowed Baker to make that play, but I think Chandler was too set on making that play and wasn't able to do it.
Now it's Thatcher Kozel. Been walked both times he's appeared at the plate, but hasn't advanced past first base yet as Childress flew out to left in the first, struck out swinging in the third, leaving Kozel stranded both times. It's 1-1 here, the count, after that pitch falls just outside.
Although Laus has been even in strikes and balls so far here in this inning, this is probably arguably the worst inning that he's had balls and strikes wise. Had a 5-pitch inning this past inning. 4 of them were strikes, just one ball, a 1-1 pitch right after the second batter of this past inning against Dakota Hogan. And Laus has worked quickly. Has really liked the pace. I've really liked the pace that he's had so far, especially up there on the mound.
This one hit high into left center. Getting under it is Enertson and making the catch there for the second out. And Comfort, the first base runner that Laus has allowed. He retired the previous 7 batters he faced.
Now batting, the second baseman from Hutchinson Community College, number 18, Max Childress.
That'll bring up Childress 0 for 2 on the day. Like we just mentioned, a fly out to left field to Enertson out there, and then a strikeout swinging.
Yeah, again, you mentioned Laus being able to come in for a laying after that third inning. Again, it's really so far here in the 6th for Comfort, and outside of that, it's been a lot of weak contact.
This one hit out of play. And 1-1 here with 2 outs. That one hit into the gap. It'll fall in left field. Advanced Comfort to second. Jojers with his first hit of the day.
Towards him a little bit, was kind of hung too much by Laux, but really working a little bit more inside up against the lefty and Childress. Really good job to just be able to, again, allow that ball to travel. Make sure his bat plane is through that one. Make sure you line that one up just to be able to send it the other way. We'll see how comfortable he can stay up on there on the mound, but the Cropdusters can get a solid insurance run here or 2, so to really put themselves in a much more comfortable.
Laux, 3 straight balls here against Copeland. Not the best situation to be here at 3-0. Just lost a little bit of that command. And there's a 4-pitch walk there for Laux, so it'll be bases loaded for top of the order and Cade Owens.
Yeah, Laux, just the 6th walk of the season so far. I think Coach Francisco is going to at least go out there and talk to him. It's just kind of a settled down time for Laux, who has just been dominant coming into this inning.
A quick little update here. Cade Owens replaced here by designated hitter number 32, Caleb Horner. Coming into today, Horner 7 for 34, hitting .206 on the year. 6 runs scored and 6 RBIs on the year as well.
Owens, again, did start off with a really strong day with that home run. Outside of that, grounded out and popped out, but maybe trying to see somebody else in a game that doesn't, mean too incredibly much, but still set yourself up for, how you want to set yourself up for the postseason. Maybe get a guy who's hasn't had a ton of experience in these.
This one just foul.
I think Horner knows that was the pitch. Just barely got in front of that ball. Maybe an 1.5 inches foul down the third base line. Now he's really got a battle down here 0-2.
This one hit high into shallow center. With no damage done, it's still a 1-run ball game here as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Coming up for the Rail Riders, we're going to see Innerton McLaughlin as well as Gabriel Baker to start things off here. We'll be back. This is the Corn Belt League Network. And we are back here with a new pitcher for the Omaha Cropdusters, a pitcher who hasn't pitched yet all season. Kind of an interesting move here from the Cropdusters coaching staff, bringing in Javon Suarez.
Again, seeing in warm-ups, that's the most I know about him to an extent as a pitcher. But Cade Owens originally was slated to be the third guy after Logan Davis here for the bullpen setup for the Cropdusters, but I guess they'll go Javon Suarez instead. And I've only seen fastball, at least from the 7 pitches that we saw in warm-ups. But he's able to find the zone on 6 of those 7. So finding strikes, that's really all that matters, all you need really from a bullpen guy.
On a strike on the first pitch there, he's got 100% first pitch strike percentage. So not the worst start here for Javon Suarez. Next pitch up and in. Listed as a third base, infielder, utility player. Mostly plays on that hot corner, though, at third. From Heston College. Swing and a miss there, and that's a big swing from Gabriel Baker.
Yeah, Baker was trying to do what Cade Owens did at the start of this game, trying to take that one deep down the left field line, but too much a hack there. I think now, especially with just 6 outs to go here for the Rail Riders, you're only down 1, so again, you don't need that one big swing. Try to get something going here. Try to go station by station and see what you can do, especially if against a guy that doesn't have a ton of pitching experience.
There's 2-2. You notice that little pause that Suarez does every time he gets set, and he like brings his knee up. And he does a little pause before he gets in that stretch.
Yeah, again, kind of changing up the timing. I think it's the best you can do for a guy that doesn't have a huge arsenal. Try to change up the timing a little bit when you're coming through in your motion.
That one hit high to left field. Making the diving catch. Yes, he is. Cade Owens, what a play. He's supposed to be pitching, but instead he's helping out Javon Suarez there by making a great play in left field.
Talking about full extension right there from Cade Owens. Off the bat, that one I think definitely was getting down, but a beautiful job by Owens right out there. A beautiful jump to be able to see off the ball, off the barrel. And again, you cannot talk about a better textbook defensive diving play out there and right. And hey, back-to-back days. You want to say SportsCenter Top 10 2 days in a row, Arnav?
Yeah, I'm not going to call it, but we'll definitely, hey, we'll put it out there for them and see if they take a look.
Yeah, I saw yesterday Tanner Black with that one, and then, hey, maybe here today, Cade Owens.
That one not meant to be swung on there from Enerson, but hits off that inside of the bat and falls right to the first baseman, Anthony Comfort, who gladly takes it in and steps on the bag for the second out.
Yeah, we've seen that now twice between, you saw that first pitch going up against Gabriel Baker, then Enerson right there, kind of a check swing look and didn't quite mean to do it. The first time was Baker with more of the end of the bat, the cap of the bat, but there the Enerson, again, maybe a little check swing, didn't think too much about it. Definitely a little frustrated after that one. But hey, look at that, Javon Suarez, really quality outing so far. And setting the Cropdusters right now. Yeah, finding the strike zone.
That one catching the outer half. Working against Keegan McLaughlin. A single run scored on the day as well as a strikeout. Big swing and a miss there inside. Javon Suarez put in some good work here for his first outing in the last regular season game for the Cropdusters. That one low and away. Pitch just high.
Want strawberry shortcake? Hey, he's offering it. And hopefully it doesn't rain too much tonight.
This one just over the head of Anthony Comfort. We really wish that Javon Suarez would have gone 1-2-3 here, but Keegan McLaughlin ruins that by hitting a bloop single out into right field.
Oh, the Dusters dugout would have went insane. That would have been incredible to see that. But again, another really more or less a check swing right there. I mean, of all things for Suarez to get 3 that bat up against Baker. We'll see what Suarez can do here. Again, still a ball game. See if the Rail Riders can find a way to try to get a win and lock themselves up the 4 seed.
Another first pitch strike there from John Suarez. I mean, he's been pretty consistent with those. That one just low and away. It's the second pitch that really gets him. I think he's thrown a ball every single second pitch he's thrown.
Again, when it's all fastball, you kind of know what's coming next.
Suarez lines up the 1-1, up and inside. Do have a pinch runner there in at first base. It's again Spencer Lehman. Saw him in there earlier today as well for Nathan Wickham. For Keegan McLaughlin, the catcher for the Rail Riders. This one hit high into left field. It'll go out of play.
Yeah, I want to give an update to some of the viewers at home. If you can see some of the clouds start rolling in here a little bit. This is set up just about 30 or 40 miles west of us. A big storm chance coming in. He's brewing in a little bit. Again, I think at least hearing some conversations up top, very likely could see our 8 p.m. game be moved up to 7:30 with the rain. And that game still could matter depending upon if the Rail Riders are able to win this one out. And the 7 and 8 spot, still a possibility. Still pretty nice out right now. And kind of an opening between the skies a little bit, but definitely off to our west. A lot of clouds starting to brew here. And hey, it's another Tuesday. Hey, it's another possible rain out.
That pitch low in the dirt, and making it to second is Lehman. So runner on second for the Rail Riders with 2 outs. Urban at the plate. And a full count here. Suarez looking to put this one away. This one's hit high. In foul territory. And making the catch as a shortstop, Jack Tilton. So Suarez, pretty efficient outing here. 4 batters faced, 3 outs for Suarez in his first outing on the mound. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the 7th inning, I should say. Tilton, Wickham, and Hogan coming up for the Cropdusters here. Getting my numbers mixed up, but the Cropdusters do lead 4-3 here on the Corn Belt League Network. And we are back here with Braxton Wilhelm at the plate, coming in for Jack Tilton. Top of the 7th for the Cropdusters, who lead by 1. Check swing, but it's in there for a strike. 1-1. That one misses low and away. And on deck, another pinch hitter for the Cropdusters is number 22, Easton Barnes. Taking a look at Wilhelm on the year, 7 for 37, 4 RBIs, 8 runs scored, 15 strikeouts. This one hit towards Urban at third. Play is made, so first out recorded for the Rail Riders.
Yeah, Wilhelm's been a guy that's really struggled here in this second half. You see here with Barnes as well. I think Coach Jared Jones is, even with the 1-run lead, trying to see kind of other guys who may be available and see other guys, again, get some more at-bats to end off the regular season with only so many games left. Trying to get some different guys some more opportunities before they head to fall ball here, where here's the different colleges they're headed to.
Barnes 3 for 27, hitting 111 on the year coming into today. This one fouled off. And on deck, Logan Davis here for the Cropdusters. As Barnes strikes out, we'll look at Davis here, the lefty.
Your attention please, pinch hitting for the Cropdusters from Dakota Wesleyan, number 19, Logan Davis.
That one fouled directly back. That pitch low. 2-1 misses high and away here with 2 outs for Logan Davis. It's 3-1 now. And Lau's trying to put it away. Give the Rail Riders one last chance here. Looks like we will see Cade Owens. We saw him in the bullpen earlier today. We'll see him come in and try to close this game. As Davis heads to first. Going to bring up number 14, Javon Suarez, in for Trayton Kozel.
Now batting, the pitcher from Hesston College, number 14, Javon Suarez.
Suarez hits this one towards center field, and backtracking is the center fielder. Braden Artzer making the catch there. The Cropdusters go down without a fight here in the 7th. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Rail Riders coming up here due up are Whit Rogers, Jackson Van Pelt, and Garrett Globe. They're going to try and put this one away here. Rail Riders down 1 heading to the bottom of 7. And we are back here. New pitcher is Cade Owens for the Cropdusters. Owens on the year, 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up no earned runs in 4 appearances. Mainly the closer here for the Cropdusters. Whit Rogers behind early in the count, 0-2. Another foul ball there from Whit Rogers, staying alive at the plate here, down 0-2. That ball misses. Whit Rogers lifts this one into left field. Getting it under it there is Trayton Kozel out in left. So that's one away here for the Cropdusters.
Now batting, the extra hitter from Buena Vista University, number 40, Jackson Van Pelt.
Now this is Jackson Van Pelt. First pitch from Owens inside. Van Pelt on the day. Strikeout looking. Fly out into center field there to Caleb Copeland. And Owens looking with one out to get another one here. This one ripped into right field. It'll go for a single. Getting down there is Caleb Horner to hold him at first. It's the first hit of the day for Van Pelt.
Your attention, please. Now running at first base from Wayland Baptist, number 31, Garrett Dethridge.
Now pinch hitter here for the Rail Riders, Garrett Dethridge. Down lifted
batting,
foul.
The right fielder from Creighton Club, team number 11, Garrett Globe.
Globe at the plate, Dethridge running for Van Pelt. This one hit up the gap to center field. It will fall. So advancing to second there is Dethridge. And Globe will take first.
Now batting, the second baseman from Anoka Ramsey Community College, number 1, Nolan Chandler.
The tying run sits at second base, and winning run is at first here for Nolan Chandler. Nolan Chandler popped out to the shortstop, as well as a walk here today. This bunt up in the air, but it falls eventually, and it's fumbled by Owens, and it'll be bases loaded coming up here for PJ Laux. Just an unfortunate mistake there from Cade Owens. Wasn't the best of bunts there from Chandler, but does the job, gets the job done, and he'll take first base.
Now batting, number 44, PJ Lau.
Tying run 90 feet away from home. Bases loaded for PJ Laux, the pitcher. Laux lifts this one foul behind the press box. Cade Owens with one out, really looking for a ground ball here, something that you could throw home, get the force out at home. Especially with the playoffs looming, you do not want this one going to extras. That's a good pitch from Owens on the low corner. Catching the outside half, just blows by Laux with the speed there. Another strike there, and it will be a strikeout for Cade Owens. Strikeout looking on Laux will bring up top of the order, and Braden Artzer.
Top of the order, the center fielder from Briarcliff University, number 50, Braden Artzer.
Braden Artzer on the day reached on an error and then hit a single, and then a ground out to the second baseman, and Owens could really use that ground out here. Looking to put this game away. First pitch up. 1-0 count here. 2 outs, down by 1. The Rail Riders, this is their last chance here in Artzer. Single here scores 1, maybe 2. Artzer with 1 hit on the day. That one inside. 2-1. Archer lifts this one into right center. Getting under it and making the catch there is Caleb Copeland. So Cade Owens gets out of a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the 7th. And that will be the game. 4-3 the final score. Cropdusters take down the Rail Riders and shore up the Corn Belt League postseason picture here. Cropdusters will take the 7th seed. They'll face the Omaha Black Sox here on Friday. As we take a look here at a quick postseason bracket, we got the Filth Ballers at the 1. They'll take on the Omaha Red Raiders. There on Thursday at 4 p.m. Omaha Bombers taking the 4 seed. They'll play the Rail Riders on Friday here at Seymour Smith at 8 p.m. Friday again, 3-6 matchup between the Haymakers and the Royal Blue Dogs. And And then finally shoring things up here on Thursday at 7 p.m., Black Sox and Cropdusters. Playoff picture is set here in the Corn Belt League. We'll have all the quarterfinal games here on the Corn Belt League Network. We'll take a quick break here and we'll be back for post-game, an interview with our Kelly Supply Company player of the game when we return. Cropdusters take this one 4-3. And we are back here after the Cropdusters pull out a win against the Rail Riders 4-3. Had it close there in the bottom 7, bases loaded, but able to finish the game out here. With me is the Kelly Supply Company player of the game, Cade Owens. First off, look at that 3-run first inning. You started it off with a leadoff home run. How'd you see that ball, and what was it like seeing it go out of the park?
Honestly, at first I didn't think it went out, and then as it just kept going, I was like, oh, I hit one out, and I just ran the bases.
Yeah, your first home run of the season. What was that like?
Oh, it's exciting. It's really energizing, and I feel like it got us going a lot.
Yeah, and then the middle 2 at-bats you had a ground out there as well as, another walk, I believe it was. So what was that like, just not able to piece the ball up as well in the middle innings? How were you able to fight through that and then close out the game pitching?
Oh, I just stayed focused, tried to keep the energy up and tried to be with my team as much as possible and keep everybody going and just do my thing.
Yeah, you mentioned pitching in the bottom of the 7th. We had the bases loaded there. What was that like mentally? You've got all 3 bases loaded. If you give up a hit, it's at least a tie ball game, even a chance for a walk-off there for the Rail Riders. How did you attack that last batter mentally?
I just went straight at him. I knew I could beat him, and I tried my hardest and just was going to get the out. I had full strength in myself and full strength in my team that we could get an out.
Yeah, and there you go. So that'll be the end of the regular season for the Cropdusters. You head into postseason as a 7 seed. You'll face off against the number 2 Omaha Black Sox. What do you know about that matchup, and how excited are you for postseason baseball to get started?
Oh, we're super excited. We think we have a good chance. We're coming in as an underdog. We think we can surprise a lot of people, and we're just hoping to keep rolling as this playoffs go.
And there you have it, Cade Owens of the Cropdusters. As the Cropdusters pull out a win here against the Rail Riders 4-3. We'll have you here for the 8 p.m. game later today. This has been the Corn Belt League Network. I've been Arnav Pokhrel, joined by Jaden Taylor in the booth and the rest of the Corn Belt League crew. We'll see you here again for the next game.